See, I just wanna feel good every day. I wanna wear a smile upon my face. I wanna feel the joys of the day. I wanna feel alive in every moment. Said I won't waste time or fear.
And that is the wonderful Lira on 101.9 Chaifm. It's 40 minutes past 11 o'clock, and of course it is our celebrity spotlight. And it's wonderful to have a celebrity like Lira in the studio. So good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, it's lovely to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
I'm
It's good
so
to be
sorry we
back.
had to pull you out of summer and drag you into winter.
I know. It's such a lovely day out, and I walked into the studio. It's like, brrr.
We like to preserve our guests.
Indeed. I see this. I'm well preserved.
It's all about preservation. Now, Lira, you have had a year. And I know that you tweeted not so long ago and you said something about 100 more days to go in 2012. What have you done this year? Or what
How have you done?
How have you done?
Right.
So I have to ask you the question, how have you done this year?
It's been an incredible year. I've had so many pleasant surprises. You know, this year has been good. The first part of the year was rather slow. We were working on actually post-production on the DVD and the capture tour. So that was a bit slow, but as soon as it picked up, it was a whirlwind. You know, I've been overseas. I've been a few African countries. I've been to Sierra Leone. I was in California. I was in Rome. I can't even remember all the places I've been. But I've been
Tough life, hey?
all over the world. It's really been a special year. It's really been awesome.
So we've got lots to talk about. I want to talk about the DVD, but I also want to talk about, being nominated for a BET award. I mean, congratulations. That is
Thank you so
huge.
much.
That is fantastic. Where were you when you found out?
So I was sitting having dinner at a Thai restaurant with my husband and my brother, and I saw it on Twitter, and I thought someone's pulling my leg. I was like, this is such a bad joke. And when I checked my timeline, I saw BET International had tweeted saying, congratulations to Lira. I almost fell over my chair. I couldn't believe it, I think firstly, historically, this category has only ever recognized hip-hop African acts. This was the first time that they chose a soul singer, as it were. So it was a pleasant surprise, and I genuinely just couldn't believe it. I was super excited. The next thing I did the next morning was I cleared my diary and made traveling arrangements. I was just like,
you mean you didn't even start designing the dress? That
No,
would have
I
been
was
what
just like, I need to get there first because my diary is insane.
Okay.
So my diary was clear. I was just like, I am going. I want to be there. I wanna experience this great moment.
Is that like the golden mark for you? Is that the benchmark? Is that like, if I go to LA and I'm invited to these awards and I'm walking on the red carpet, with the likes of Beyonce and, is that your benchmark? Is that just a great highlight for you, but there's just so much more?
There is, well, firstly, this wasn't even in my plans, okay? So this was a complete pleasant surprise. So it just kind of entered my path, and I thought, what a wonderful opportunity. My plans and my dreams included a Grammy. I thought, the Grammy would have been like the epitome. And obviously, my ultimate is being of global significance as an African musician. So this was a great surprise, and I was like, I don't know how this even came about, but I really just want to be there to soak it all in. And indeed, I did. I had such a great time.
So, I mean, we know that, in LA, they are obsessed with who you're wearing, what you're wearing,
That's
who
true,
you're
honey.
doing. So were you under pressure? Did you think, listen, I am this girl from South Africa. I'm going to go along and I'm going to do what I do best? Because I mean, I don't want to embarrass you, Lira, but you are so beautiful. The beauty emanates from the inside out, but you really are. And I mean, I saw this red dress that you wore. You looked stunning.
Oh, thank you so much.
But how did you prepare for it? I mean, were you under pressure?
Well, firstly, I was like, I don't even know American culture. I haven't lived it. I haven't really tasted it. So all I know and what I do best is Africa. So I was going to pay homage to who I am because I felt that's how I'm going to be unique
Good for
in
you.
that big sea of international acts. And lo and behold, I mean, my red dress was South African made. I was wearing a South African clutch bag and South African shoes by Errol Arons. So everything about me was South African, and I still made the best dress list.
Well, I mean, you look magnificent in
Thank
that
you
red
so much.
dress.
I felt really pretty. All my African colors. I was just like, if you ever were confused about where I'm from, you just needed to look at me and you would know.
So preparing for something like this, you've got the dress, you've got the bag, you've got the shoes, someone is going to help you with your hair, with your makeup, you arrive, there's the red carpet. Were you prepared? So physically you're prepared, you've got that. But really, a young girl from Davidton, born there in the township with all these dreams and aspirations landing up there, just try and give us a sense of how you were feeling.
It's surreal. I don't know if there's even words, but the best I can do is just walk you through it. So we arrive in our limos. We were picked up in limos.
Did you have a glass of champagne on the way?
Of course.
Yay!
We were just like, oh my word. And then I was
with your hubby?
I was with my husband.
Oh.
I couldn't walk the red carpet with him. I could only go with my my publicist.
Okay.
Because she was gonna make sure we spoke to all the right people.
Okay.
So I walked with her, and so we got there, and then you go through a security checking point thing, and as soon as you sort of come around the corner, but like it feels like a field of red carpet. It is huge. This is like awards on steroids. It is huge. And you walk in there, and there's screaming fans, and I'm just like, but I mean, they genuinely don't know me.
Are you sweating? Are you sweating?
No, I'm like a child in a new world, really. It's just huge. Everything is just so big.
Uh-huh.
And of course, we get ushered to do one of the interviews that, just about to walk the red carpet, how you feeling? And they introduce us to all the people. And this is exciting. I'm taking photos as well. I'm just like, I almost feel like I want to share this moment with everyone back home because I knew everyone was really rooting for me. Mm-hmm. And we get to walk the carpet. So as we were standing there, I'm seeing Samuel L. Jackson with his wife. I'm seeing Kim Kardashian. I'm seeing all of these people, and we're all standing sort of at an equal, at par.
Okay.
And then at some point, the owner of BET International, Deborah Lee, stands next to me. So that was a big sort of wake up call to say, girl, you're standing amongst greatness,
Okay.
I just took it in and I laughed because I was like, this is surreal. This is so silly. And just, I was just in awe. I mean, I was just really happy. There weren't nerves. I was so excited to be there. It was more just the realization that in all my dreaming, in all my wishing, in all my hard work, I was representing my country, and my talent
fabulous.
had led me there, and it was surreal. I mean, the best you could do is just smile and just enjoy.
Oh, fabulous. But I mean, as I said, starting off where you started off, this young girl entering all of these competitions, slowly finding her way, because I mean, you started singing professionally. How old are you, 16?
I discovered my voice at 16, but professionally I started relatively late compared to other people. I was 23.
Okay.
So, my career had a late start, and I only experienced my success, I think, when I was 27 or 28 even.
So it gave you time. That's fantastic. That's a very good foundation for you, actually.
I was older. I was, I actually think it worked out perfect. I was at a point where I could handle the success that came with it. And I learned a lot of things on the way. And I've experienced failure in my career. And I was able to pick myself up again. So I'm more grounded than I'll ever be, And so when these things happen now, I'm 33 now, and when all of this is happening, I just feel I'm calm about it.
And you're in a good place to receive
I'm in a
it.
very, very good place. I'm very level-headed. I have very big dreams, but I'm just enjoying it. And I feel I'm still young enough to keep exploring even more things. So it's an exciting time in my life. And
when it was in 2003, you released your debut album,
That's right.
All My Love. And you did it with 999 Music. But then something happened there after that. That was a turning point for you in your career.
It really was. At that stage, that album was the result of dreams that I had when I was 16 and a little girl, essentially. I remember when I quit my permanent job to become a singer, I drew up a 5-year plan that involved me becoming an international artist. Me becoming an artist that would touch the world through my music. But when I released my first album, it was a good piece of work, body of work. But me as a person, I wasn't ready mentally. I hadn't had enough life experience even. I was just so young in so many ways that I feel like all the challenges that I then experienced. I mean, I literally failed. I bombed. It was bad. My music was receiving incredible airplay. I beat Beyonce's song off of the number 1 position, or rather number 2 position in South Africa's Billboard charts, and that was the first time that a South African
But that doesn't
artist.
sound like failure to me.
In some ways, I'll explain how.
Okay.
So there was success in that sense, but people did not make the connection that this music was South African, or even that I was the artist singing this music. So that you couldn't find my music in stores. I couldn't get work. So all the resources that I'd saved up to survive while I was building this career, I'd completely run out. So in that sense, I had nothing to show except for the CD. So I went through a bit of a depression. I was just like, oh my word, I walked away from a well-paying job or career essentially. And
As an accountant, let's just specify that not only drop dead gorgeous with the most exquisite voice, but a brain in accountancy.
That's,
Sis, man.
And, I was just like, so I felt I had nothing to show. I'd lost everything. And then I became depressed until I became tired of being depressed. I literally was exhausted. I was just like, okay, I can't carry on living my life like this. I need to pick myself up. Because what I realized was that I was focusing on what I'd lost rather than what I have to go on. A simple attitude change changed my life. I started looking around at what I do have. I still have the voice. My body is still fully functional. I can still pick myself up and go do something. So the first thing I did was I did a photo shoot that I felt reflected who I am and how I want to be seen. I started, put up my bio, and I sent my music all over the place. I'd walk into my record label, buy up my own CDs, collect my own posters, put them up around town using my mother's car and her petrol. When I'd walk into a restaurant, some people would recognize me from TV and go, oh, you're that girl that sings. But now I can never find your music in stores. And I'd go, you know what? It's in the boot. I've got one right now in the boot.
Good for you.
And I would sell it.
Tenacious.
I would
Fabulous.
just do that because I thought, I'm the one that's sort of feeling the frustration of this. So I've got to forget the glitz and glamour of what this looks like. I would just like to get myself out there. So indeed, sometimes I travel with like 10 CDs in my bag just in case.
Good for you.
So I slowly built it up that way. Within a year, I was a fully fledged entertainment solution. Jobs started trickling in. So I wasn't in newspapers or TV or anything, but I was a working musician. I was a tax-paying working musician. And I was paying 5 other musicians that worked with me. It was incredibly empowering. It was just amazing. And then by 3 years later, I felt, okay, I've grown so much. I'm running a business, essentially. It's time to produce the next album. And that was a challenge because I'd evolved so much as a person. I was completely different from that young girl that released an album called All My Love in 2003. So the first panic was, how are people going to perceive this change, this new me? Because they haven't sort of walked the journey with me. I'm just going to be this new person. Some anxiety, some fear. And then I just made, I sort of
almost not back to that depressed state, but certainly the fear.
There was
the
fear
space.
Fear settled in. And then I made peace with the possibility of failure.
Okay.
It's okay. So if I fail, it's okay. This feels right. And ultimately, this is me. They don't like it, that's fine. So I made peace with that. It's okay. We're going to move forward. And if we fail, it's fine. And lo and behold, people just loved it. Of course, my hair.
Feel Good.
Feel Good was born
2006.
2006.
Gold-selling album. Unbelievable. Platinum.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to take a break. There's just so much to take in. Stay with us.